Disclaimer: the following program is designed to offend, provoke, and challenge your religious sensibilities. It contains content that will likely offend anyone who holds religion sacred. This is for those with thick skin or a taste for the harsh truth. If you're easily offended or cherish your religious views, please turn off now. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. You have been warned. Let me tell you about Mary. No, not the Virgin Mary. This Mary lives in a lab. She's a neuroscientist, a genius, who knows literally everything about color. Not just red looks hot and blue feels sad, but physics, biology, light wavelengths, brain chemistry, retinal processing, the whole package. Here's the twist, though. Mary's spent her entire life in a black and white room. It's a thought experiment. She's never seen color. No red apples, no blue skies, no yellow traffic lights to ignore. She knows the facts, but she's never had the experience. Then one day, the door opens, Mary walks out, and she sees a red rose. And philosophers everywhere lose their mind. The million-dollar question: did Mary learn something new when she saw red? If she already knew every physical fact about color, but still gained something by experiencing it, then maybe not all knowledge is physical. That's the knowledge argument, aka Mary's room. It came from philosopher Frank Jackson in the 1980s, designed to mess with materialism, the idea that everything about the mind can be explained by physical stuff. Jackson's point goes something akin to this: if Mary learns something new when she sees red, then consciousness isn't just physics. There's something more going on, something science can't touch. That something is what philosophers call qualia, the raw, subjective feel of an experience. You can break down how red light hits your retina, but you can't fully explain what seeing red is like unless you've done it. That's qualia, the holy grail for dualists and an absolute headache for philosophers like Daniel Dennett. In plain English, qualia is the raw feels of consciousness. It's the personal, first-person experience of color, taste, or pain. Not the neurons firing, but the ow. Proponents of qualia say you can measure, describe, and graph sensations, but unless you've felt them, you don't really know them. They love pointing to Mary's room as proof. She knew every physical fact, but she still didn't know what red felt like until she actually saw it. Therefore, science can't explain consciousness. Checkmate, materialists, as if the fact that Mary got goosebumps means the soul just broke through the firewall. It sounds deep, like something Morgan Freeman might narrate over a red rose in slow motion, but just because something feels mysterious doesn't make it magical. And that's where Daniel Dennett storms in with a whiteboard and a smirk. I'm really into Daniel Dennett right now. He's actually the guy who coined the phrase belief in belief, which I talked about in yesterday's video. Personally, I think he's amazing. He's a philosopher and cognitive scientist, and he's brilliant, but don't expect any spiritual fluff or cosmic mystery. He's here to ruin your favorite thought experiment and hand you a brain model instead. Dennett calls Mary's room a trick, a sleight of hand wrapped in bad assumptions. He argues that Mary doesn't learn anything new when she sees red. She's just experiencing something she already understood, only now from a different angle. Think about roller coasters. You can study their physics, track design, and safety systems, but riding one is different. Not because you learn new facts, but because your body's finally running the program. For Dennett, Mary hasn't discovered new knowledge, she's just switched to a new mode of accessing what she already knew. It's not a gap in science, it's a perspective shift. Qualia enthusiasts claim something mystical lies beyond the reach of science. Dennett basically says, nope, no magic here, just brain states you haven't experienced yet. If Mary really knew everything, she'd already know what red looks like. If you insist she learned something new, you're admitting she didn't know everything to begin with. You might wonder what this has to do with religion. The answer? Everything. This is exactly how religion operates. People say, I can't prove God, but I've felt him. Or, you can't measure faith, but I know it's real. This is basically like saying your dreams prove you lived a past life, or people who love to throw out the, you haven't experienced Jesus like I have. It's the same logic of, I had the experience, so it must be true. But your feelings aren't proof. They're just your brain reacting to stimuli. That rush during worship isn't divine contact, it's an emotional high. A feeling might be powerful, but that doesn't make it factual. Qualia fans say Mary's room proves there's something beyond the physical realm. Dennett and friends roll their eyes and say, stop romanticizing neurons. She just ran the program. So who's correct? I have no idea. I think it depends on whether you think feelings are facts. The debate hinges on whether a new experience counts as new information. The bigger question, if your brain can be fooled by a feeling, does that make the feeling more real than the facts? It all boils down to fear. Fear that science can't capture the essence of what it's like to be you, fear that the machine can't analyze its own software, fear that subjectivity is special, but maybe the human brain isn't full of divine secrets. Maybe it's just a complex network doing its job. Maybe qualia isn't some hidden cosmic layer. Maybe it's just what happens when a human brain processes sensory input in a human body. So Mary sees red and thinks, wow, this is new, but maybe it's just how it feels when your brain processes a new sensory signal for the first time. The Mary's room argument tries to sneak mystery in through the back door, but mystery isn't magic. It's just stuff we haven't fully explained yet. And if you're using Mary's room as proof of some deeper truth, that's not philosophy, it's nostalgia for a soul we can't quite let go of. So you have to ask, are you sure Mary saw something new? Or did you just really want her to? Because yeah, Mary saw red, you saw Jesus in your toast. Same brain process, different interpretation. Religion is just another form of qualia, a centuries-old system built on the idea that feelings are facts. If we treat every emotional high as a divine encounter, we might as well worship roller coasters and horror movies. Anyway, I definitely don't have all the answers. I just thought it was a really interesting thought experiment that came up in the comments yesterday. So shout out to Robotaholic for bringing it to my attention. Let me know what you think about it. Did Mary actually see something new when she stepped out of the room, or was it just another angle on something she already knew? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be over here ruining everyone's favorite metaphysics with cognitive science.